smart contracts are simply programs that are stored on the blockchain that runs when specific conditions are met. Now, smart contracts are a very essential part of any programmable blockchain. Now, what happens in a case where those conditions, those rules, or the code itself has errors in them, or cases where new features need to be added to those contracts? What happens? That is where the concept of upgradable contracts comes to play. Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Just in case you're seeing my face for the very first time, my name is Emmanuel, and I am currently a junior smart contract developer at Web3bridge. And in this video, I'm going to be talking all about upgradable smart contracts. Now, before I even continue, have you subscribed to this channel? If you have not, kindly do that. Just click on the subscribe button and ensure that you like this video. Just do it, and let's continue. So this week, this is week 10. This is the end of week 10, by the way, and we talked about delegate call, we talked about fallback function, and we talked about call. Now, I think the difference between a call and delegate call is that a call allows you to interact with two contracts, contract A and contract B can interact with each other, and you can call functions in each other using each of their storage. But delegate call, one of the contracts interacts with the other contracts and implements the function in their own storage. So there is contract A and there's contract B, and contract A can interact with contract B using contract A storage. That is the difference. The different things that trigger a fallback function. The fallback function can be used to receive money. Can be used to receive money in a contract. It's also triggered when there is data attached to the money. Now, usually the receive function receives ether, but in a case where there is a receive function, but alongside the money there is also data attached to it, the receive function cannot process it, so the fallback function handles that. Also, in a contract where the functions that are asked for are not found there, the fallback function is implemented. Now, the fallback function can contain instructions, it can contain code in it, and it can execute those instructions that are found in it. All of these things I've mentioned are used in upgradable functions. Now, when I mean all of these things, I mean the delegate call and the fallback function. Okay, now I have to clear the air. The fact that I said upgradable smart contract doesn't mean that they are actually mutable. It doesn't mean that they can actually change. Now, one of the rules of the EVM is that whatever that is deployed, whatever contract that is deployed to the blockchain cannot be changed. So no matter what you do, they cannot be changed. But in cases where there are errors in the code, or maybe there are bugs that need to be fixed, or maybe there are new features that need to be added to the contract, we need to be able to correct them. We need to be able to update them or upgrade them. That is where the concept of upgradable smart contract comes to play. Now, there are about 3 different types of upgradable contracts. The transparent upgradable contract, there is the Universal Upgradable proxy contract, which uses the EIP-1822 standard, and of course there is the diamond standard, which is EIP-2535. Now, all of them act very similarly. So I'm going to explain the proxy contract first, then I'll explain the diamond contracts. So starting with the proxy contract. Now, the way the proxy contract work is that there are mainly 2 contracts. There is the proxy contract and there is the implementation or logic contract. Don't worry, I'll explain. You're going to get it, I promise. Now, when the user interacts let's say on the front end, the user doesn't directly interact with the smart contract. The user interacts with the proxy contract. Now, the proxy contract, it contains a fallback function and a delegate call. Now, a delegate call is a kind of opcode that when it executes, for example, there is contract A and there's contract B. So a delegate call allows you to run some function in contract B using the storage of contract A. So you're calling a different contract, but you're using the contract of A. You're not using the contract. You're not using the storage of B. You're using the logics or the functions in contract B in contract A. Did you get that? Okay, so I'll continue. I hope you get it along the way. So now in the proxy contract, what happens there is that the proxy contract is the contract that the user interacts with, and when the user asks for a function, of course it is not in the proxy contract. The proxy contract then gets the function logic from the logic contract. So remember, I said there are two contracts mainly. There's a proxy contract and there is the interaction contract. Now, the interaction contract or the logic contract is a smart contract that contains all the logic that you want to perform in that particular contract. So it is basically called. Now, the downside is if you want to change a particular thing in that contract, you have to redeploy a new one. You cannot just change. You can of course make changes, but you have to change the entire code. Like you have to deploy a new contract. Now, I did explain that the proxy contract has a function that stores the address of the implementation contract. So when we are talking about an upgrade, what you do is simply you change the address of the implementation contract to the new contract that you want to deploy. So let me give you a scenario. For example, you have a piece of code that, okay, maybe let's say it's a token contract that has a mint feature. You want users to be able to mint a particular token, and it's there. And you've added the address of that token contract to your proxy contract. So anytime a user interacts with, let's say, with your interface, what they're interacting with is with the proxy contract. And when they request for something, the proxy contract gets it from the mint contract. Now, at the end of the day, if you want to add a new feature to your implementation contract, and you can easily change, you don't have to redeploy all of them. You can easily just change or update the one that you want to update, and it's not going to break anything. So you have just one diamond. Now, the diamond acts like the proxy contract. You have one diamond, and then you now have all the different implementation contracts that you want to have. Yes, so that's what happens in the diamond standard. So part of the diamond standard contract actually makes it work. There is the diamond cut. The diamond cut is just the part of, it's like it contains functions that enable you to add, remove, or replace a function. Now, the different implementation contracts are called facets. Choose your pronunciation. And it updates the mapping of the function selector to the facet address. Now, it's a bit technical, but I don't know if you got what I was trying to explain. And there's also the diamond storage. The diamond storage is more like the data manager of the whole contract. So the diamond storage allows you to store data without collision. That means you can store different functions in the diamond contract. Remember, I said you can have a lot of implementation, you can have a lot of facets. Now, it allows you to store those data uniquely in a way that they don't collide with each other. So I don't want to go deep. So there is the diamond storage, there is the app storage. I don't want to go too deep into details, but I just hope you understand how it works. There is also the diamond loop. that just like a diamond you pay helps you to clearly see the diamond, it helps you to clearly see it. That's just the same way it works. So it helps you find all the functions that are in a facet or are in facets across the diamond. Now there are about 3 implementations of the diamond standard. There is diamond 1 hard hat, there's diamond 2 hard hat, there's diamond 3 hard hat. If you want to do something that is going to take a lot of gas and storage, then it's recommended that you go for the diamond 2. Or if you want one that you just need something, you want to build something simple, then you should go for the diamond 1. I hope I've been able to convince you or explain upgradable contracts to you, explain the proxy contract, how the proxy contract works, and how the diamond standard works. So there are just 2 ways that you can upgrade your smart contract. Now you should note that if you don't follow the exact patterns of a particular type of upgrade, for example, if you're doing the proxy contract and you don't add like the fallback function and the delegate call in your contract, or a code that updates the address, they are not going to work. So you don't just do it. You have to do it intentionally, that okay, I want this contract to be upgradable, and then you follow through all the requirements or the standards that has been put in place. And that way you'll be able to update your smart contracts. So I really hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you. Thank you so much for watching. I would see you in the next one. Please do well to subscribe and like this video. Bye.